Nick, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Nick, congratulations. Major victory the other day. And I got to tell you, I don't know if you think in these terms. I thought it was one of your more important regular season wins of your now 5-year tenure. Do you think in those terms, maybe not during it, but afterwards, do you reflect upon that one was really big for playoff implications and everything it represents?
When we stay week to week and game to game and meeting by meeting, you don't think that way. But I do know that team is a really good football team. That's a really good football team with really good coaches and really good players all over the field. They've won at a sustained. Matt's done a great job of sustaining the success there through multiple different, two different quarterbacks, which, my hat's off to him. And we played at Lambeau Field, tough place to play, and to go in there and get a win, man, those feel good. But that lasts for the night, and that night was quick, and we were right back at it and getting ready for this one.
Sure are. Getting ready for in a short week for Detroit.
Quick and cold.
Nick, after the game, at the post-game press conference, you stood by the 4th and 6 with 33 seconds left. The decision. Sometimes coaches, upon reflection, continue to stand by a decision. Sometimes 2 or 3 days later, they'll say, could have done and should have done that one different. As you now have had a few days, do you think it was the right call in the moment or not?
I still do, guys. I do. We were playing to win that football game and keep our offense out there on the field. Hey, what you really have to do is you have to go through the process and make your decisions off a process and make your corrections off the process. You can't be like, well, the result wasn't there. Because sometimes on 4th down you're going to get it, and sometimes you're not. The result, wasn't what we wanted, but was the process right? Absolutely, 100%. And I get it. When a 4th down decision, when we make a 4th down play, great. When a 4th down decision and we don't get it because, for whatever reason it may be, right? I got to live with that, and it's going to be on me. And that's the job of a head coach. And I get that there'll be debate. So that's why I got to do what I think's right in that moment. And right. That doesn't mean you don't go back and rethink it. You do that with I go back through every time after every game and look at, should I have went for 2 in this one? Yes or no? Should I have went for it or not went for it? 4th down on this one. We watch this every Tuesday. Yes or no? Hey, how did we play 2 minute? How do we play 4 minute? All those different things. And so, yeah, in that moment, I thought that was the right decision. We get it. And, we take a knee, or we wouldn't even have to take a knee after that because the clock would have been running still. So unless we had went out of bounds or anything like that. So that was the decision I made, and I stick by that decision. And and we'll continue to work to get better in everything that we do.
Coach, why were you saying why on the sideline? Why? Why?
I say a lot of things on the side. If I have to get into everything I say after that, after a play, man, I don't think I want to open that can of worms of like, hey, why'd you say this after that? Why'd you say that after that? Obviously the result, all of us were frustrated with the result. And so, it didn't work right there. Like I said, though, I think the decision and the process was right.
Was that an audibilization situation where Jalen and AJ had the ability to take that and take control, and it just didn't work?
On that 4th down right there, anytime we're planning a play, like a 4th down decision, so critical.
Sure.
Obviously, I'm highly in tune with the play that we're going to call in a 4th down scenario. And all the plays, and we're doing on everything. I'm the head coach. So,
yeah. I was highly in tune with punting in that scenario.
As was I.
Yeah. Hey, and you probably would have been highly in tune of punting in the 4th down in the NFC Championship game. I get it. That happens.
That's true.
I go for it a lot, and our guys succeed a lot in that moment. And you're entitled to your opinion. There's no doubt. And I know you guys need things to debate there. So, but Yeah, no, I knew exactly what the call was. We knew what the call was, and does Jalen have ability to do things at the line of scrimmage? Of course he does, but in that particular moment, that's what we called. And hey, the result it didn't work. The result. So but the process in my mind was the right process.
So today, there was news at 1:30 in the morning. I'm sure you heard a little something about it. How does it make you feel when you hear that A.J. Brown said something seemingly disparaging about your offense?
Yeah, I mean, you can, again, when there's obviously ability to debate what he meant or what he said, or, hey, why did you say why there? Like, listen, again, you go with your interactions with guys on a daily basis and not what people are, I don't want to say, not predicting, but, interpret, speculating or anything like that. So, again, we're going to continue to try to get better on offense, and we played a great game on defense. And but again, we are in tune to what's going on here and the relationships that we have in here and the process that we have in here, and AJ's all in.
Nick Sirianni with us as he is every week, typically on Tuesdays, today on Wednesday, 2 days after that Monday night win. Squad now 7-2. Nick, a conundrum I feel for fans, I hear it a lot, is a lot of people think that you and Kevin, as play designers, play callers, too conservative, think that Jalen too conservative, and yet the team almost always wins. And so congratulations and credit to you for, almost always winning. But I'm curious, do you feel at times that you and Jalen at times are too conservative? That a 10-7 win, while impressive to win the game, could have been 20-7 if you play it different. Do you feel at times you're too conservative?
We could have won 40-7, and we're going to look for ways to get better. That's just the way we are. And so, again, the goal is to win each and every game in that period. And we know there is we have to do media a lot, right? And I know our guys have social media and be able to see some of this stuff. And, our goal is to win every single game and not get entrapped by, what other people's expectations are for us, And so, we do a great job of taking care of the football. And that ball is in Jalen's hands at all time. Now, I know we had the one turnover. Guy got a good punch on the football.
Yeah.
But Jalen's incredible taking care of the football. And I think we've pushed the ball down the field, 20-plus yard plays at a high rate in the league too. So, again, and then in moments where you run it on the third down that you guys are referring to here, those are played each and every game differently, right? There was different ways that they were playing us in that game that a run was going to be just as good as a check down.
I liked your explanation of that.
Over the top.
I liked your explanation of that, Coach. Against too deep with those weird looks at a run, at least you knew the way you wanted to block it. You're getting the ball to the same guy.
Yeah.
Hey,
and
so
we were close on.
You were. Yeah, you were close to breaking some.
I think some people forget some of the long runs that we've hit in those moments to get first. For example, the one that pops to my mind right now is 3rd and 19 against Jacksonville last year at the 19-yard line. Saquon House did. So, and then some teams in those scenarios, and we have these plays in every once in a while, do a screen. And then some plays in those areas, they do something where they run everybody off and start to block them. And they dump it to the back on a little, escort play, or however you want to say that. And so those are all different ways that you go. But I think when you look at it, it's like, well, they ran. Well, those are similar to runs too, and a check down is similar to a run. So, hey, I get it though. Like we understand that there's always going to be debate, and that's why you have to. And that's why me as a head coach, our coaches, we have to do in the moment what we think's right to win the football game, period. Because we know that, we throw it down the field and something happens there, it's an incomplete pass, or we're bunting back up. That's going to be debated too. Hey, it's the job we signed up for. And and it's the job that we love. We understand there'll be debate.
It's just so different. My teams that I played for, our coaches, when we would get into 2-minute offense at the end of every half, it was get out of bounds. We got to stop the clock. We got to get downfield with the pass and score points, any amount of points. And when you guys don't do that, it feels like squandered time, squandered opportunity. Like we're not getting everything out of the offense that we could.
Sure. I can tell you this. At the end of halves, unless the time is limited, we're always going to try to score. We're always trying to go to score. And I think that if you look back at the history of us being here in 2 minutes, you would see that. That doesn't mean that when you don't you don't get meaningful, because this happened a couple times this year that, we're on our way to go try to score. The drive doesn't start right. And then you're like, okay, well, now it's time to do this. Like you got to look at
the ejection seat on the drive.
Yeah, you got to look at the whole picture and not just say, oh, well, they ran it on this one right here. Well, we ran it on that one in this game for a reason, right? We didn't have a chance. We didn't feel like we had a chance to score anymore. We didn't want to have to punt in that scenario, so we ran our play where we throw it up and throw it out of bounds to waste the time, which was really good execution by our guys, so we didn't have to punt. But we always, make no mistake about it, in a 2-minute drill, we're always going down there to try to score, and unless there's something that tells us, not to with the time remaining, or where it's not going the right way, and you do concede at one point.
Yeah, sure. Hey, Nick, let's talk about your defense. They were the star of stars the other night. So I know you're careful on comparisons to last year. I get it. But do you feel that your defense now, with new players and guys back from injury and Jalen Carter playing better, do you feel as a coach that, hey, I might have a defense now that's comparable to last year for the remainder of the season?
Again, yeah, like you said, I'm not going to get into that, or this looks like that. I know that rush and that D line were humming on Monday night, weren't they?
Yeah,
that was fun to watch.
That
was fun to watch. And the energy that they brought, Jalen Phillips, has a great energy out there and a great relentlessness out there, and the whole D line as a whole. Getting BG back, man. Celebrating with BG on the sideline is one of my favorite things to do. He has got so much energy. And Nolan back, and Jalen's playing really well, and Jalen Carter, playing his ass off in that game. And Morrow, I know everyone saw the clip of Morrow talking about what preparation.
Inside zone right here, inside zone.
Isn't that awesome?
That's amazing. And it was. And you stopped them.
And it was. And it was, yeah. We got that. We talked about that all week. Is that, because that back's a really good player.
He's offset like that.
Yeah, and he's a really good player. So to be able to stop his feet and make him change, so he can't just hit a hole, was huge. And then to get that knockback by Jalen Carter and Jalen Phillips on the opposite side, to really squander that play. And then you just saw the relentless effort of our defense. Reed Blankenship comes down from the safety spot, and he meets the guy. I think he was the one who caused the fumble as I looked at the TV copy, and then he recovers it. So we just had so many guys to the ball. It was fun. It was fun watching.
You guys smack people
roll around. Yeah, they were physicality of that game. We knew was going to be big, and our guys answered the bell.
Hey, Nick, congrats not only on a big win, but if we can now call this the first half of the year. I don't even know what the first half is anymore. Halftime in the last game?
I guess it would have been right at halftime. Would have been the first half, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, actually, then your record would be 6-2-1.
Yeah.
Because you were tied.
It was 0-0 at the half, right? That's
Nick,
right.
all jokes aside, congratulations not only on a big win, but a 7-2 record through a tough schedule is certainly something. Good luck versus Detroit. It's another great, intriguing matchup. And we'll talk to you next week. Thank you, Nick.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
you got
Coach.
it. There he is, Eagles head coach.